Today, I have a very exciting topic. Redirects. Wait up, don't leave. I promise this is gonna be useful. We are gonna go through what redirects are, what they do, how to set them up, and how not to lose your SEO in the process. Let's roll! What is up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to WP Workshop. This is your field guide to redirect, and more specifically, redirects in WordPress. To say it simply, a redirect is just a way to automatically send visitors from one page to another, or rather from one web address to another. This is exactly like forwarding your mail from one address to another after you move houses or something, after you get a new apartment. This basically ensures that people and search engines, which is important, I'm told, can still find your pages. But alright, so this is what redirects are, but why would you actually need to have them or need to set them up? Because WordPress, it's a good platform. It works, right? It doesn't break on its own. So you can basically assume that if your pages are here today, then they're gonna be here tomorrow, or will they? Okay, so it's not WordPress that's to blame here, actually. What's to blame, as you would expect, it's users, it's humans. We make the mistakes. So redirects help us solve some of those mistakes. So when would you need a redirect in practice? What's a practical application? There are a couple, I don't know, 4, maybe 5, maybe 7. Not important, probably the exact number. So this is just the list, the order is not important. One possible application for redirects, quite simply, someone might be linking to your website using the wrong address, or they might be linking specifically to a subpage on your website but using the wrong address. What's basically happening is they are linking to a page that doesn't exist. Most likely they've just made a typo. So what you can do to fix it is simply to redirect that bad address to a correct one. That way the link is still pointing to the page that it should be pointing to. The link counts for SEO, the users can find it, and everyone's happy. Another case, maybe you've merged some pages together. Maybe you had 2 smaller guides, super small guides, super small pages, and you've decided to merge them into a bigger, better resource. Naturally, you would want to redirect whoever is coming to the previous small versions to now just go to the one big awesome article or product or whatever. And this also goes the other direction. For instance, you might have deleted some page because it's just no longer valid for whatever reason. And you just want to redirect all the people to something that's related so that they can still get some value when they follow a bad link. Plus, there's a whole range of reasons that's purely related to design changes, website structure changes. So for instance, it's very common that, when you do a new design, some of your page structures might be changing in the process as well. Maybe you create whole new sections on your website. Maybe you create whole new hubs or resource pages that group similar content. Whatever it might be, you can use redirects to fix all of them. Redirects are also very useful when you're doing any sort of marketing campaign. So for example, you might have a complex web address of a page that promotes something. That address might include all sorts of tracking, all sorts of UTM parameters and so on. And this works, but it's not very practical if you want to share this link either, let's say, in a podcast or with someone directly. It might be just easier to say something like, hey, just go to example.com/promo and you're gonna find the latest promotion. So you can do this sort of thing by using a redirect. Plus, of course, when it's all done, when all your marketing campaigns are done, you can use a redirect, another redirect, to feed them all into your homepage or some generic product. So basically, when the campaign is over, you don't lose the traffic, and whoever comes to the web address that used to be your campaign doesn't see a 404. Instead, they can go to a homepage or something related. So that is it. These are the main reasons why you would want to use redirects. The practical aspect of them, actually how to set them up, how they work, it's very simple. I mean, okay, on the server level, it's maybe not that super simple, but from the practical point of view of a user, like me, for instance, or like you, this is all very easy to set up. It works with no problems, and you can rely basically on people going to the correct pages that you want them to go every time. Alright, let's move over to the screen and I'm gonna show you all about it. Welcome, this is my super complex WordPress website as always. So to get started, as usual with those kinds of things, you need to install a new plugin. That new plugin is simply called redirection. So let's just go ahead and add it. Just put redirection into the search field. So just let's go ahead and install this one. Then activate, and we are basically good to go. To get started, you can go ahead and go through the redirection setup. You know, it's just gonna ask you a couple of questions about how you want to use the plugin. If you want to go ahead with some of its more advanced features, let's say. It's not required, but you can go ahead, you can start the setup. So for example, you can tell it to monitor changes in your posts and pages. This is very useful whenever you find yourself in a situation like I mentioned in the intro. So basically, whenever you change an address in a blog post, because why not, then you can make sure that this plugin is gonna pay attention and will set up a redirect automatically. So very useful feature. Next one, keep a log of all redirects and 404 errors. This one I also like because it allows you to keep track of what's going on your website. For example, if you're getting a lot of visitors that go to non-existing pages on your website, this feature is going to tell you, because you can go into the logs and see what are the most popular, let's say most popular 404 pages on your site. Once you identify them, you can set redirections to pages that are related to whatever the 404 is about. And lastly, store IP information. I wouldn't do that, so let's just continue. It's going to do some quick test, and after that we are done. We are done with the setup, with the basic setup. This is not the end of the fun. So let's continue. Ready to begin? Yes, I am. And alright, what's going on right now is we're just seeing a blank screen. By the way, you're being redirected to, no pun intended, alright, a tiny bit intended. Anyway, this is the section, you can find it in Tools, Redirection. Let me show you two cases of how to use this plugin. No matter what you're gonna be doing, you are either gonna be setting redirects so that an address within your website is going to be pointing outside to some other website or inside to some other page within your website. Let's start with the first case, so linking out. Okay, this is simple, just add new, and the source is the address that you want to redirect. Let me just give you a quick example. Some page. And the target URL, well, it is the target. So, since we are going to be linking out, let's just paste in the address of the site. Just let's put wpwork.shop, and once I set a redirect like that, a subpage that's called some page within my website is going to be linking out. It's going to be, redirecting out to my website at wpwork.shop. Let's just check how it works. Actually, if you click on the link here within the interface of this plugin, the redirect is gonna operate, which means you're gonna be redirected to my site. That is it. Okay, but what if we want to redirect to some page within our website? So I just prepared two subpages here so that you can see what's going on. Let me just put the address bar in view. This is a local site, by the way. So I've created a page that I've called some super old post, which is, the address of it is, as you can see, super old post, and also super new post. Very creative. And the address, as you can see, it's super new post. And I'm gonna redirect the old post to the new post. So how do I do that? The easiest way is to grab this part of the URL. It's to grab basically the slug part of the URL and just, again, paste it as the source, and the destination is gonna be my super new post. So you've probably noticed that I'm not using the entire address of my pages in those redirects. For example, I'm not doing something like that. I'm not using the entire address. I'm just using the identifier of the page, the slug part of the address. I'm just doing that because I think it's much cleaner, and it's gonna be much easier to identify the redirects that point out versus those that are all within my website. So let's just add this one, and you're gonna see it here on the list. Now we have super old post redirecting to the super new post. And the best way for me to show you how this works is I've just come again to my super old post, and now I'm just gonna refresh it. So as soon as I click reload, the redirect should trigger and I should be taken to the new version of this post. And as you can see, we are looking at the super new post. This is basically all there is to it. Additionally, this plugin will also show you the number of hits that each of your redirects has been used. So the number of times that someone came to the old address and was redirected to the new one. But there's more. You can go to 404s and see all of the non-existing pages that people have tried to navigate to. Right now this is 0, but I can change it pretty easily. All I have to do is add some random letters here. Presenter, page not found, and when I come back to this listing, and I'm gonna see all of the failed attempts. So what you can do now with all of those is, for example, if you're gonna be seeing some of those addresses being used very often by people, for once, this means that someone has linked to you using a bad address, you can simply add a redirect, just click here and set a target URL where you want to point this 404. This one is very useful. What's more, let's come back to the main list. You might have noticed those codes here. To show you again, let's just try adding a new redirect, one more. So again, this is the same screen, but now if we click on this gear icon in here, you're gonna see some more options. Most of them are not that important, but this one, the code of the redirect, is kind of important. So basically, in virtually all cases, you want to make sure that the code indicated here is 301 moved permanently. If you click into those options, you're gonna see that there's many more options available. And actually, no matter which one you set, they're gonna be operating the same way. I mean, if someone comes to an address like that, they're gonna be taken to the new one. But the difference is in how Google and other search engines interpret those redirects. So for example, if you set it to 301 permanent, this means that the original post, the source page, doesn't exist anymore, and that all the credit, all the SEO juice, as they call it, should be moved to the target post, to the new one. This is basically how to not lose your SEO metrics in the process. And that is pretty much it. Okay, as you've seen, the actual how-to is very easy. It's just literally about installing one plugin, adding your source address, adding your target address, and then whoever comes to the first one is gonna be taken to the other one. But the actual main learning in this one, I think, is just, getting familiar with all the possible use cases of redirects, why they are useful, why you should use them, how you should use them, and when. So what I really encourage you to do is to basically start paying attention to all the broken pages that people come to whenever they visit your website. Maybe they are following some bad links coming from other websites and always landing on a 404. Also, this is a very useful thing to do if you've had your website for years now. And over time you've deleted a lot of pages, you've added a lot of new pages, and it's just easy to lose track about, deleting some page that used to be popular, but you've stopped updating it for some reason, or maybe you've deleted a product and then you just never had time to review if people are actually coming to it still. And in some cases people will let you know, they will reach out and they will tell you that, hey, this page isn't working. But in many cases they will just ignore, go to a competitor, go to another website. Data is what can help you out significantly in cases like that. So my simple message is to go ahead, start paying attention to the 404s that people are landing on when they come to your website. Start setting redirects for those pages. Even go to a tool like Ahrefs and see if you can find some bad links, some bad backlinks pointing to your website from there. And then again, just set redirects. So I told you, it's gonna be exciting. It was exciting, right? If not, then sorry. Alright, that's been it. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you liked the video. Comment down below, let me know what you think. Let me know how you like to use redirects on your website. Maybe let me know if you found some other interesting applications for them. And don't forget to like, subscribe. I'm Karol, you can find me at wpwork.shop, and see you next time.